The Beatles were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960. The group, whose best-known lineup comprised John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison and Ringo Starr. Led by primary songwriters Lennon and McCartney, the Beatles built their reputation playing clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg over 3 years from 1960. After help from two influential characters, Brian Epstein and George Martin, the group broke into the mainstream in the United Kingdom in 1962 with their first single, Love Me Do. This song gave the group the start they needed, and from that record they started to tour widely until 1966. The Beatles played a number of influential gigs on tour, and this is what made them so popular with the changing society of the 60s. Capitol Records' lack of interest throughout 1963 did not go unnoticed, and a competitor, United Artists Records, encouraged their film division to offer the Beatles a 3-motion picture deal, primarily for the commercial potential of the soundtracks in the U.S. By early 1964, the Beatles were international stars, leading the British invasion of the United States pop market, breaking numerous sales records, and inspiring Britain's cultural resurgence. They soon made their film debut with A Hard Day's Night 1964. The Beatles' first concert in America exploded at the Washington Coliseum. To the delight of the Beatles, they had become more and more popular in America over the tour. Had become that popular over their tour, they were to become the first entertainment act to stage a concert at a stadium. The Beatles played at a stadium in New York City called Shea Stadium. The Beatles played at a stadium in New York City called Shea Stadium to an audience of 55,600. Touring internationally in June and July, the Beatles staged 37 shows over 27 days in Denmark, the Netherlands, Hong Kong, Australia and New Zealand. In August and September, they returned to the US and played a 30-concert tour of 23 cities. In August, journalist Al Aronowitz arranged for the Beatles to meet Bob Dylan. Visiting the band in their New York hotel suite, Dylan introduced them to cannabis. It was musical and cultural significance of this meeting. Within 6 months of the meeting, according to Gould, Lennon would be making records on which he openly imitated Dylan's nasal drone, brittle strum, and introspective vocal persona. Freed from the burden of touring, the Beatles embraced an increasingly experimental approach as they recorded Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, beginning in late November 1966. According to engineer Jeff Emmerich, the album's recording took over 700 hours. In February 1968, the Beatles travelled to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's ashram in Rishikesh, India, to take part in a 3-month meditation guide course. Their time in India marked one of the band's most prolific periods, yielding numerous songs, including a majority of those on their next album. Beatles breakup. McCartney filed suit for the dissolution of the Beatles' contractual partnership on 31 December 1970. When McCartney made the announcement of the breakup, he listed several reasons that contributed to their separation. He said, personal differences, business differences, musical differences, but most of all because I have a better time with my family. The Beatles One, a compilation album of the band's British and American #1 hits, was released on 13 November 2000. It became the fastest-selling album of all time. With 3.6 million sold in its first week and 13 million within a month. It topped albums charts in at least 28 countries. The compilation had sold 31 million copies globally by April 2009. On 9 September 2009, the Beatles' entire back catalogue was reissued following an extensive digital remastering process that lasted 4 years. The Beatles not only influenced the music industry, but they also influenced the social and cultural revolution in the 1960s. Even though the group broke up in the 70s. The Beatles are one of the most influential rock and roll bands. Also, they influenced many artists such as Jimi Hendrix, David Bowie and Oasis, who later on become huge musical talents. And they had a huge impact on British rock and roll and also American rock and roll.